This is going to be a fast version of me going through the Unit F study guide. On these kind of problems, here's what I tell the kids to do. Find a number or a fraction that's the same on both sides and put a box over it. So 2/3 is the same on both sides. So now here's your choice. I can have 7 boxes or I can have just this one box. I want 7 of the boxes. What number is the same on both sides? 7. This time I can have 2/3 of a box or I can have the whole box. So I want the whole thing. This one, 2/3 is the same on both sides again. So check out what I can have. 3/4 of a box or the whole box. I want a whole box. What's the same on both sides? 1/5. So I can have one box over here, or on this side I get 4 boxes. And last one, I've got a 4 that's on both sides, so I can have 1/5 of this box, or I can have that whole box. Plot the points on the number line, change everything to decimals first. Okay. My A, B, C, D, E are already in decimal form, so I just need to change my fractions, and hopefully you guys can remember these by now. 1/4 is 1/4, which is 0.25. Half is like half a dollar, 0.50. And 3/4 is like 3/4, 0.75. So A is 0.44. That would put me like, and just think money, 44 cents is going to be between 25 and 50, somewhere about there. B is like 8 cents, so it should be somewhere over here. C is 77, so it's just barely past there. D is 55, somewhere in there. And E is 22, so it's just going to be a little bit in front of there. This one's a little more difficult. I'm going to go ahead and get these numbers because we just did them on the last one in there first. If you want to say that the 1 is 1.00 just so it's a dollar, that works for me. I need to change all of my fractions so they have 100 for the denominator, and then it's going to be easy for me to see what the decimal is. Or I can divide them out. So to get this one to be 100, I'm taking it times 4 equals 100 on the bottom. So 20 times 4 equals 80, 80 hundredths, so this is 0.80. So V is going to be somewhere about here. 3/5, what do I have to take it times to get to 100? Times 20, so 3 times 20 is 60. 60 hundredths is equal to 0.60. So W is about right there. X is 4/10. What do I have to take that by to get me to 100? Times 10. 4 times 10 is 40. 40 hundredths, 0.40. It's going to come about right there. So there's my X. Y is 5/20. I need to take it times 5 to get to 100. 5 times 5 equals 25. 25 hundredths is 0.25. So it's going to go exactly on this spot right there. It's one of the few ones where you have to be exactly right. And 6/100ths already has 100 on the bottom. But notice it's 6, so it's like 6 cents. So it's 0.06, which would put him way back here for Z. When we multiply, all we do is top times top, bottom times bottom, but we do need to make them improper fractions. So I put the 1 under there, I would have 32/5. I'm going to divide it out to simplify it and get me back to a mixed number. Let's go in 6 times. Remainder 2. Remember, I'm bringing that 5 over. So this one equals 6 and 2/5. Get my 1 in there for the improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 4 is 4. Divide it out. There are 3 4s and 15. 3 remainder 3. Bring the 4 over because my denominator don't do diddly. So that equals 3 and 3/4. All I have to do is top times top and bottom times bottom, and it can't be simplified. Go into my next one. Get my 1 in there. 18 times 1 is 18. 1 times 6 is 6. When I divide this one out, no remainder, so that just equals 3. 1 times 13, 4 times 1. I don't think this one's coming out even. How many 4s in 13 would be 3? Remainder 1. Remember this denominator's coming over here. So my answer would be 3 and 1/4. Top times top, bottom times bottom. They're both even, so I can divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is going to be a 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. They're not even anymore. That's as low as I can go. Still multiplying. Get my 1 under there. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. 24 thirds. There are 8 threes and 24. No remainder, so my answer just is 8. 9 times 1, 1 times 2. 9 divided by 2, it goes 4 times, is 8. Remainder 1, remember I'm sliding my denominator over there, so this equals 4 and 1/2. And now we're to a division problem and things change up. Remember we're doing keep, change, flip. So I'm keeping my 9 over 1, change the division sign to times, flip the fraction. So now we have 27 over 2. 2 is going to go into 2 one time. Bring down my 7. Goes 3 times, which is 6. Remainder 1. He's coming over there. So I have 13 and 1/2. Remember, keep, change, flip. So he's going to, we got 7 over 1 times 4 over 1. It's going to equal 28 over 1, which is just plain old 28. Keep the first one, change my sign, flip the second one. I've got 1 over 20. What's the area of the rectangle? Area means width times length. So I'm taking 2/5 times 3/4, which is going to give me 6/20. I can divide them both by 2 because they're even. And I get 3/10 square miles, which is really less than 1 square mile. Keep, change, flip. So I got 4 over 50. I can divide them both by 2 because they're even. And now I'm at 2/25. Keep, change, flip, 3/16. And I'm done. Takes a third cup of nuts for a batch of cookies. How many batches can you make from 3 cups? What am I starting with? I got 3 cups. I'm splitting them into 1/3 batches, basically. So get my 1 in there, keep, change it, flip it, 9 over 1. Oh, I can make 9 batches of cookies. By the way, if you didn't flip or something like that, you should notice, like if you got 1/9, it wouldn't make sense. Because if I got 3 cups of nuts and I only need 1/3 of a cup to make the cookies, I know I can make way more than 1 batch for sure. How many fifths in 4? So I'm starting with 4, splitting them into fifths. Get my improper fraction there. So keep the first part, change my sign, flip the second fraction. I got 20 over 1, which is just 20. So if I had 4 whole pizzas, I cut them in fifths, there would be 20 pieces. 2/5 of the 20 horses are brown. How many horses are brown? 2/5 of means times 20 horses. Make it an improper fraction. 2 times 20 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5. 40 divided by 5, it goes 8 times. No remainder, which is good. So 8 of the horses are brown. That answer does make sense. 1/4 of a pizza was left. If 2 people split it evenly, how much of the pizza will each one get? What did we start with? The 1/4 of a pizza. We're splitting it. 2 people. Do not split the people. Get my improper fraction in there. Keep, change, flip, 1/8. That makes sense because we only had 1/4 of a pizza and we're splitting it. Each person's going to get 1/8 of the pizza. A serving of rice is 1/2 of a pound. How many servings can you get from a 7-pound bag? Okay. What am I starting with? The whole bag of rice, which is 7 pounds. We're splitting it into servings, and each serving is 1/2 of a pound. Make it an improper fraction. Then since we're dividing, we're going to keep, change, flip. You got 14 over 1, which just equals 14. So if you had a 7-pound bag of rice, you could get 14 servings out of that. 14 people could get their serving. Jay is making a 1/8 scale model car. The car is 24 feet long. How long will the model car be? Okay, so here are my choices. 24 times 8, 24 divided by 8. If you're making a model car, is the model going to get smaller or be bigger than the original? Usually it's going to get smaller. So 24 times 8 is not going to make sense. 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. Jay's model car is still going to be 3 feet long. So it's sort of like one of those pedal cars then. A box weighs 2/3 of a pound. How much would 11 boxes weigh? So we got 2/3 for each box. There are 11 of those boxes in all. So we're going to multiply. Make my fraction improper. 2 times 11 is 22. 3 times 1 is 3. 22 thirds. 3 goes 7 times. Subtract, I got a 1. Bring over my denominator. 7 1/3 pounds. Then we just got a couple problems to go. Simplify to lowest terms. I see this number ends with a 0 and the other number ends with a 5, so I can divide them both by 5. I'm at 6 over 9. Oh, I can still divide them both by 3, which is going to get me to 2/3. 16/20, they're both even. I'm going to divide by 2. So I'm now at 8/10. But they're both still even, so I can divide by 2 again. Remember, we want to simplify all the way to lowest terms. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. They're not even. Can't divide by 3, so I'm done. Last two problems. Convert improper fraction to a mixed number. So 22/5 really means 22 divided by 5 goes 4 times. There's a remainder 2. Remember, this dude is coming over right there to be my denominator. And right here, the problem kind of says itself. 4 2/5. 37 thirds. There's 1 3 and 3. 2 3s and 7. 12 remainder 1. Bring my denominator over, and I get 12